Hey guys, and welcome back to Anthony's Tennis Hub. My name's Anthony Hirsch, and we have just completed the quarterfinals at the Roland Garros event. The quarterfinals on the men's side are as follows: Novak Djokovic versus Casper Ruud, Alexander Zverev versus Alex de Minaur, Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Carlos Alcaraz, and Grigor Dimitrov versus Jannik Sinner. In my draw preview, I've gotten 7 out of 8 of these picks right. The only pick I didn't get was Alex de Minaur, and I said Jan-Lennard Struff. De Minaur wasn't really supposed to be there either, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. And in this video, I want to go over the absolutely ridiculous matches and performance from Novak Djokovic over the last few days. Particularly, I want to focus on the Djokovic-Cerundolo match that happened more recently, and that was just completely ridiculous. But so was the Musetti match, but the focus of the video will be on that Djokovic versus Cerundolo match. Please don't forget to subscribe to Anthony's Tennis Hub if you are new joining into it. But Djokovic, with 2 performances that really define a career, he's already achieved 24 slams. Who knows how much he's going to add to his tallies, but these 2 matches really define the career of Novak Djokovic and his absolute fight and just unwillingness to give an inch or ever give up. It's from down 2-1 in both occasions. Musetti played, I thought, the best I've ever seen him play. I know some people will discount him and say, oh, similar to the match 3 years ago, but I feel like he's improved a lot since then. And to play Novak Djokovic at Roland Garros, I mean, that's a tough contest in any regard. I feel like he was hitting his one-hander as well as I've ever seen him strike it, Musetti, and he fought incredibly well too. I will say the match mirrored the Wimbledon final last year in a weird way. The ending was different, right? Different round, different opponent, different surface, but I will say Novak playing a younger opponent, and it was actually weirdly similar. He lost the first set, second set, had a set point at 6-5 in the second set tiebreaker, barely loses tiebreakers. Musetti won the second set, then pretty handily won the third set. Then Novak, the whole way through the fourth set, it looked like he was definitely going to take the fourth. And then in the fifth set of the Wimbledon final, Alcaraz played an incredibly remarkable set and won it. Here, Novak ran away with it. So different fifth set, but the first four sets felt like mirrored each other in a bit of a weird way. Then the Cerundolo match was very reminiscent of the Musetti match. Very reminiscent of the Musetti match. But the Cerundolo match, let's just move on to the Cerundolo match because that's what I want the crux of the podcast to be about. Novak was dealing with knee issues. He was dealing with an injury with his knees, and still managed to find a way through, but this was early in the match that he was dealing with this injury. It was 1-1 in the second set when he began dealing with this injury. He won the first set 6-1. It was all going well for him. He doesn't want another physical match after the Musetti match, and then another injury to fight through. And luckily, he said painkillers started making him feel better towards the end of the fourth set, and he was able to find an incredibly high level, just like he did against Musetti in the fourth and the fifth set. But just to go over the match a little bit and what kind of happened in the match. So Cerundolo early, not a very high level from him. I felt like this is their first meeting that they would ever play against each other, Francisco Cerundolo and Novak Djokovic. I felt like Cerundolo was still trying to find his game and really feel out the ball. I felt like he was so far below his usual standard of play that I felt like it was a set where he was still trying to find his game. And I felt like he found it in the second set, right before Novak got injured as well. So what kind of happened was in the first set, Cerundolo, slight chances real early on the Novak serve, but just not at his best. His depth, not good enough, missing some early shots and rallies occasionally too. Novak played very well, 68% of first serves in. He won 81% of those points, 17 for 21. And it was 16 forced errors for Cerundolo and 3 for Novak when it got to 1-1, 15-love in the second set. So Novak was just playing better. And then it felt like Cerundolo really started to pick up his level. He started serving way better in the second, third, fourth set as the match kept going on. Really until the end of the match. Cerundolo started serving way better. He was not serving well at the start. Started serving fantastic as the match kept going on. At 1-1, right before the injury happened, where Novak would have a long medical timeout at 2-1, Cerundolo started playing way better. He had a forehand inside out, then a great drop shot and a great lob, then a backhand inside out winner. And right after the shot, that's basically when Novak really started feeling it. That's really when Novak started feeling it. After Cerundolo started the match, not serving well, not returning well either, which is clear, although Novak was serving well, as I mentioned with those stats. Everything started getting better. He would get chances throughout the second set, Novak moving really gingerly. It looked really worrisome for Novak. And Cerundolo kept getting chances. To be honest, I felt like at times Cerundolo was making unnecessary, unforced errors. Even when Novak was barely able to move, it felt like it was probably a bit nervy. Like, he was just missing shots when Novak was just left the whole court wide open, which was not even going to run for it. So there's definitely nerves on the side of Cerundolo. But he was kind of pacing himself well, too, Cerundolo. I felt like he played better and better as the match went on. He certainly served better and better. And an ever-improving opponent like that, dangerous. We know that. And, he even paced himself well with the break points. After he went 0 for 11 towards the start of the second set. And then I just felt like, okay, now Djokovic maybe is going to, if he can get his body right, he should be able to turn this around and maybe even take this set, because Cerundolo can't convert here, but he still kept giving himself chances and surprised me, but he finally converted on his second set point, which also happened to come as his 13th break point of the match. So he ended up being 1 for 13 on breakpoint chances, but he was tied up out 1 set apiece, which kind of is what made the difference early for him to tie it up at a set apiece. Like I said, Cerundolo starting to serve way better. Then when we got to the third set, Cerundolo very strong to start off that third set, very reminiscent of the Musetti match, with Musetti having chances in the second set, but looking like Novak will take it. Musetti took it, then ran away with the third. Kind of very similar thing happened here. Having a lot of deuces and long games, at this point, at one point in the match, in the beginning of the third set, they had played 2 hours and 25 minutes. They had only played 23 games, which means that they played about 10 minutes per every single game of the match. Including change of ends and changeovers between sets, but still, a lot of long games during this period of the match. It was very unclear which way it was going to go. At this point, it felt like not as much aggression and winners from Novak, not punishing Cerundolo's kind of poor central shots and forehands. But Cerundolo himself looked kind of very unusually calm. Like I said, pacing himself well. Now he's more aggressive, hitting big shots. And, after the first set, I felt like he was just kind of feeling out his shots, but then he started playing better. Novak, listen, Cerundolo getting so many breakpoint chances. Novak was serving 73% of his first serves in. So, Cerundolo started returning very well. He started serving very well. Big improvements on the first set. Cerundolo was playing at a high level. In the third set, Cerundolo was 70% on all serving stats. 70+%, like 70, 71, 72. That means the serving stats I mean are first serves in, first serve points won, and also the second serve points won as well. It really was impressive, because Novak's serve in the second set, I will say, became much less insane. It went from he got better in one category, but he got worse in another. So he went from he was hitting 76% of his first serves in, Novak, but 81% of first serve points won went to 63%. So the first serves he was making in, Cerundolo was able to return them much better. This is kind of what we saw, the story of the match. Then in the fourth set, 4-3, 30-all, Novak goes for a big backhand down the line, kind of all or nothing. He just makes it on the line. This could have been the crucial inch in or out that really decided the match, I'll be honest, because Novak, he was really going all or nothing. He could have made it, he could have missed it. It was pretty neutral in the rally. He decided to pull the cord, and he just made it on the sideline, literally splat on the line. And Cerundolo had a lot of luck, I felt like, throughout this match, he earned his position as well in the match, no doubt about it. But he was hitting a lot of net cores and a lot of shots that were going his way, and I felt like at a point Djokovic was even laughing about it. But there were two moments in this match that I felt like were crucial shots that Novak just luckily kind of made in. Or there's some skill, some luck, but there's a backhand later as well. It's very similar to this forehand at 4-3 30 on the fourth set. That landed right on the line. Very similar backhand later on as well. After the shot, he waves for the crowd, waves his hands asking for the crowd. Game point 4-4. Novak hits 4 backhands in a row, including a winner, finally hitting through it, rather than kind of weaker kind of moon balls, and he roars. Cerundolo really can't hit through his backhand at all anymore. Novak is able to hit through his, kind of hitting it flat and hard. And yeah, I mean, from then on, he really clutched up towards the end of the fourth set. Won at 7-5. He was broken back at 2-0. He played a fantastic game to break for 2-0, but then at 2-0, got a lot of negative energy from Novak, even though he was kind of up in the scoreline. And Cerundolo hit a great backhand down the line off a Novak net cord that kind of hit the tape and then just kind of sat up for Cerundolo to hit the winner. Novak slipped at 2-1 a couple points later. But, I mean, the physical marvel of Novak Djokovic to play a 5-setter against Lorenzo Musetti. Play 5-setter against Lorenzo Musetti up to 3 a.m. in the morning. Novak said he got a good night's sleep and he was doing all the right things. He was doing, he basically rested and slept through the whole day and was occasionally did some stuff with the physio and did some exercise when he needed to and stuff like that. And he felt really good coming into the match. But to play 4 hours and 29 minutes, then to play 4 hours and 39 minutes at 37 years old against guys much younger on physical red clay in France, and to still come off the victor in both occasions back to back. In fact, every time Novak's played 4-hour-plus matches consecutively at majors, he's won both of them. So, and then at 3-3 15 love, the most amazing stretched out sliding shot that I've ever seen Novak hit, which was an unreal volley at the net. Cerundolo, this is tied up 3-3 in the fifth set. Cerundolo hits an unreal pass from a very difficult position, and then Novak just completely, he probably could have let it bounce, although it would have been a very tough shot to deal with. So very skillfully decides to hit a volley, a la Boris Becker, but maybe even more impressive than that because he's fully stretched out on the ground. I mean, he was just dealing with a knee injury and basically defying science at 37 years old. I mean, to play 10 hours like this at 37 years old and to still be stretching the way he did is just unbelievable. And then drop shots towards the end of the match really came in handy for Novak. He hits a great drop shot at 4-3 down break point. So that came in the fourth set. And then another forehand at break point at 4-3. This is the forehand that I'm talking about. Novak hits a Hail Mary forehand after running a lot. Cerundolo has plenty, he has plenty of great shots throughout this rally, but Novak hits a forehand that lands right on the baseline. It's kind of this loopy forehand, and he goes straight out for a winner, and the umpire even comes down to check the marks. Cerundolo thought it might be out, but it is called good. And those two shots that landed the backhand on the sideline, the forehand on the baseline at two crucial moments, 4-3 30 on the fourth set, and that 4-3 down break point for Cerundolo down break point in the fifth set. Those two shots that just caught the line, I mean, a lot of hard work from Novak and paying off in those two moments that you could categorize as luck, but whether it's luck or skill, they're very close. And Novak just able to pull through. He said painkillers helped towards the end of the fourth, like I said. But there's so many moments he was close. He was at 5-5 break point down in the fourth set with Cerundolo way in the rally with a chance for a backhand pass. He managed to win from 4-2 down. Set 4, Novak hit just 44% of first serves in. But he just played the big points better, and he started moving far more freely and far more fluidly. Novak served absolutely awesome in the final set, lost just 10 points on serve, 72% of first serves in. And, I mean, the point to me that defined the match is Novak at 40-15, 4-3 in the fifth set, but Cerundolo serving at 40-15. Novak like a madman kind of running to this volley from Cerundolo way out near the corner, near the net, and Djokovic slides into it and hits a great forehand down the line, and Cerundolo misses the next backhand, then climbs back in that game. Just like Jannik Sinner against Djokovic himself, climbed back from a 40-love game down in Australian Open, 2-2 in the fourth. But Djokovic has done this throughout his whole career, right? Down 40-15, climbs back in a game, never stops fighting. It was the match defined in 1 point in one game. Found a way back into the match, and like I said, just hitting some awesome drop shots toward the end of it, and just absolutely fantastic to beat a high level Cerundolo, especially in the I would say in the third and fourth set. Cerundolo was playing awesome, but Cerundolo should have clutched up a little bit more towards the end of the fourth, and Djokovic, just an absolute monstrous level in that fourth and fifth set, and just to do it twice in a row. Definitely wants to do better on the second serve. He won 49% of his second serves versus Musetti. He won 50% versus Cerundolo, but just enough to get it done. I mean, he's gonna feel it a little bit, I think, against Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud's such an elite player on clay. It's gonna be tough. Just beat him in Monte Carlo, but you don't count out Novak Djokovic. I think that's what we learned from those matches. So, I mean, absolutely goated performance. And with this match against Cerundolo, he passed Federer for the most match wins ever at a Grand Slam. He passed Federer for the most quarterfinals at a Grand Slam. Two stats that surprised me. Watching Federer for many years and just feeling like he was always there, winning at the slams. But, I mean, Djokovic, he's done this so many times now. And it felt like the absolutely perfect fitting match for him to get those records, to be honest. And I don't know, man. It just felt like two absolutely goated performances from Djokovic, to be honest. Two memorable matches, two of the matches of the year. And, that's what I have to say about it. Novak Djokovic, in my mind, the greatest to ever play, and phenomenal. The other matches to bring up, I would say, Djokovic versus Ruud. I already gave my predictions in the draw preview. I'll link that up above my head so you can watch that. But I picked Alcaraz over Steph in 5. I still like that pick. I mean, Steph is playing great this tournament. He really, really is. And I expected that. But I think it'll be 5 sets. Steph doesn't really like the matchup. In fact, total points won. It's become less and less with every match that Alcaraz and Steph have played. And then, but I feel like this one will be closer. And I think it will be closer than last year for sure. I like Sinner beating Dimitrov. I think he's going to play his best match of the tournament so far. I just think maybe Sinner at this point is a little bit better than Grigor, and it was not close in Miami. It might be closer on clay. Let's see what Grigor brings. I'd love to see that be close. But I kind of like my Sinner in 3 pick. I had Zverev making through the semis. Once again, I said against Jan Lennart Struff. It's against De Minaur, who Zverev might enjoy playing even more. I don't know. But De Minaur is playing great. Won in 4 sets today, so he's obviously playing well. And Ruud in 4 sets over Djokovic. Djokovic is going to be very tired from these last 2 matches. In fact, before the match today, I did predict, that it would be 5 sets for Djokovic. I was quite happy that I predicted that. But the fact that he's played 2 5-setters in a row now just makes me feel like Novak is going to be tired. And I said Ruud in 4 sets. I really like that. I really like that pick now. So happy with those predictions. I mean, listen, from the men's side and the women's side, I figured out that there's not a single player who's not a top 12 seed in the quarterfinals on either side, outside of Mira Andreeva, who, going into the tournament, a lot of people had their eyes on her, Madrid quarterfinalist, and obviously is probably going to be a top 12 seed rather soon. Just is rather very young right now, but already making it to the quarterfinals of Grand Slam. So the top of the sport has made it into both slams, the end of both slams, and I just feel like the tournament could have not been that. We were worried for the men's side that the top seeds were not going to kind of perform. And, we were worried that we weren't going to get here. But we've had so many epic matches, so many 5-set matches, so many long matches on the women's side as well. But at the end of the day, we have the top of the top basically making it through. I know we don't have Rublev, Medvedev, Hurkacz. Those are some of the players that fall in, Taylor Fritz, Holger Rune. But, I mean, with the quarterfinalists that we've had and on the women's side as well, it's been great. So, I'm going to make more videos for those matches ahead. Djokovic is just unbelievable. What a remarkable player. Whether he makes the semifinals or not, I mean, this run is absolutely amazing. He hasn't lost the quarterfinal of RG in any year he's played it outside of 2009, which is unbelievable. And, that just shows how good he is on clay as well, by the way. He is so surface versatile. And Djokovic, absolutely phenomenal yet again. Shout out to Lorenzo Musetti, played a phenomenal match. Also shout out to Cerundolo, fought really well, and I thought he was very impressive. Both guys impressed me, but Novak Djokovic, the guy who impresses the most, he ends up on top. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys at the next Anthony's Tennis Hub video.